Je vais maintenant passer la parole à monsieur Ayuketta David, qui est camerounais et qui est originaire également de la zone anglophone. Je pense que vous avez des proches, vous avez la famille qui est plus impactée par la crise que nous autres, la partie francophone, bien que nous compatissons, vu que nous sommes tous camerounais. Et nous souhaitons avoir votre avis, votre analyse, votre perception de la dite crise.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Fellow panelists, members of the audience here present, the organizers of this occasion, I want to particularly thank you on behalf of my friends and the Anglophone community here present for bringing up this Anglophone crisis here. I want to start by saying I'm going to be a bit long because the problem of Southern Cameroon is an existential problem. We will not talk of a problem that has been existing for more than half a century in just 10 minutes. I'll go up to 15 minutes, but I really want to hit the heart of the matter. Now, before we pretend of looking for any solution whatsoever, whether dialogue or whatever, let us not forget that there are causes of this problem. There are causes, and the causes are not today. The causes are not Mr. Bia. They are not Mr. Bia at all. For those who actually know the problems of the Southern Cameroon, the causes started way back, even before the false federation that was formed in 1961. Now, to remind you, like I said, when we saw for what we saw for the past, we've seen for the past 24 months is a country that is gradually sliding into civil war. It all started with legitimate grievances from the teachers and lawyers, the students and the civil society who were just asking for a few things. Because of the marginalization, the prolonged marginalization of Southern Cameroonians. Unfortunately, what happened? The government invited the representatives for a dialogue, just like we are talking of looking for a solution, for a dialogue. You call people that come, let us sit and look for a solution. And then you turn around, you arrest these people, simply because you could not respond to their demand. And particularly one of those demands was because these people have seen that the country, they have been marginalized for quite a long time. They said, no, it's not moving. Let us, amongst what we are asking, let us go back to the federal dispositions that existed between 1961 and 1972. You refused. Instead, you arrested these leaders. You threw them in prison. Now, when you arrest people with whom you are supposed to sit and negotiate, with whom do you want to negotiate? That is the big question. With whom do you want to negotiate? They arrested these people. Some of them, till date, as we speak, are still in prison. Some were charged with various counts, including terrorism, which, of course, you know, that amounts to a death penalty. And it didn't just end at that point. There was a lot of international pressure that came in, a lot of manifestations, until the government could not continue. They decided now to release some of the leaders, but allow some to be in prison. And during that same period too, they cut down internet for 3 months. How do you cut internet? Today, internet has become like oxygen. None of us here can actually live a normal life today without internet. How do you cut internet for 3 months? They cut down internet. And then, what happened? This stirred a lot of, it reignited the quest by Southern Cameroonians, not this time around, not for independence, not for federation rather, but for complete independence. Now, fellow panelists, like I said, I'm going to be a bit long because we cannot pretend to look for solutions to this problem without looking at the root causes of the matter. The call for federation or independence, it never started today. It started way back in the 80s. It would be remembered that the Southern Cameroon was originally a United Nations Trust territory, just like La République du Cameroun. And as trust territories, the objective was that these two territories were going to be prepared for independence. or self-government. The Southern Cameroon was governed by the British as an integral part of Nigeria for administrative reasons. Now, while with Nigeria, as far back as 1954, the Southern Cameroon had attained self-government. What does that mean? It means there was a government in place. It means there was a parliament in place. There was a public service in place. There was a police force in place, a judicial system in place. And let me remind you people, the Southern Cameroon is the first African country that ever organized a democratic election. There was the government and there was an opposition. The opposition won. It was a peaceful transfer of power. Up to 1958, when the administrative body, the government of the United Kingdom, they informed the United Nations that the Southern Cameroon was ripe for independence. So this, if you look at it, this was already a country on the move. The United Nations had informed, the British government rather had informed the United Nations that the Southern Cameroon was ripe for independence. And what happened? The United Nations already set aside a date for the independence of Southern Cameroon, which was fixed for the 1st of October 1961. But surprisingly, in the month of October 1959, the United Nations General Assembly voted Resolution 1352, asking the Southern Cameroon to attain independence either by joining La République du Cameroun or Nigeria. And then in 1960 now, October 1960, they requested the British government, the United Nations requested the British government to make sure the Southern Cameroon was separated from Nigeria. Of course, that happened. Now, when you look at it, by October 1960, the Southern Cameroon is already separated from Nigeria. They didn't join La République du Cameroun immediately. It was a country on its own. There was the Southern Cameroon government that was running all the affairs of the Southern Cameroon, except for foreign affairs. That was still under the British. Now, the plebiscite vote for the Southern Cameroon to attain independence took place on the 11th of February, 1961. The Southern Cameroon voted to join La République du Cameroun in a federal system. And the new government, the new country that emerged, that's both countries now got extinct. La République Cameroon ceased to exist. The Southern Cameroon ceased to exist, and they created a new country known as the Federal Republic of Cameroon. Now I will move forward first to 1972. 1972, what happened? Like I earlier said, that the problem of Southern Cameroon is not Paul-Biya. It is, I would say, it's not even Ahijo. This is a problem that has been planned. That is what we have in the mind. It's an agenda that is there, that whosoever comes will execute that agenda. Yeah, that is the whole truth. Now, in 1972, Ahijo unilaterally dismissed the Federal Republic of Cameroon through a pretended referendum, and then created the United Republic of Cameroon. The United Republic of Cameroon, we went up to 1984. Yeah, if I should be honest, remember 1984, the United Republic of Cameroon was extinguished by presidential decree delivered by Mr. Paul-Biya. So we left from Federal Republic to United Republic, and then on the that map, the United Republic of Cameroon, the map was containing 2 stars, showing that 2 components came together. They removed one of the stars, and then it was left one. Then the name La République du Cameroun, if you very much remember, this was the name of one of the components that came into the federation in 1961. The name La République du Cameroun was brought now to replace the name United Republic of Cameroon. So you can see a situation where 2 countries come together to form a nation, and then after some time, the whole country was extinguished, we go back to the original name of one of the components that was existing. Of course, the Southern Cameroonians saw this from two dimensions. They interpreted it as secession. That is, French Cameroon has seceded from the Union. And secondly, they saw this as recolonization, that the French Cameroon has recolonized the Southern Cameroon. And the reaction was very swift. The first person to start contesting was Fongoji Dinka, who was at one time the Barreau du, what do they call it? Bâtonnier du Barreau du Cameroon. He was the one who started contesting. He started by attacking Paul Biya. He was arrested, jailed, put under house arrest, from where he succeeded to escape and is presently in London. And then in 1970, he contested and requested constitutional talk to be held to address the nature of the country. That never happened. In 1993, 1992, the Anglophones held the All Anglophone Conference in Bamenda and Buea. The call was the same. Let us dialogue so that we can talk about the form of the country. Nothing happened. So fellow organizers, fellow members of the panel, members of the audience, we will keep talking about dialogue. We'll keep calling dialogue. But is the dialogue coming? We are today in 2018. People have started calling for dialogue. Since 1985 to 2018 is how many years? This is 24 years. How many? 34 years. 34 years we have been calling for dialogue. So you tell me, if you are an Anglophone on the other side, you've asked for one thing for 34 years, and then they keep refusing you. Originally, the call wasn't independence. Independence was far. We've already come together. Let us live together as brothers and sisters. But it was not moving. I said, okay, let us go back to the federal system, which at least gave some advantage to everybody. And then this call was ignored. So in 93, 94, all Anglophones, they came together and insisted. They want Mr. Biya that if you don't respond within a given time limit, we shall have no other option than to declare our own independence. That never happened. Of course, the independence was declared by Justice Alowede Ebong. That was in 1999. Yeah, the independence was declared by Justice Alowede Ebong. As usual, they have all the military power, all the political power. They got these people, dumped them in prison. And all this has steered the emergence of so many independentist groups, like the SCYL, like Maurice, like AGC, like the Ambazonian Interim Government, that are all clamoring for one thing. Negotiation. That is it first. Let us sit and dialogue and then decide on the form of the state. Nothing keeps coming. How do you dialogue with somebody who is not ready to dialogue? That is the question. And when these people say, okay, you don't want it, we are going a separate way. You pick guns and then you start killing them. But you will kill to the last man. Because presently I just got a call. My whole village, every person, I got a call this morning, every person has run and is in the forest. So if I were there, where could I have been? I could have been in the forest too. Now you tell me, when you have burned down villages, killed my old parents, burned them in their houses because they could not run to the forest, killed the young people, how do you want that type, how do you want to live again with that type of person? This is the big question. Not that we are not ready to dialogue. All wars in the world, people will fight and fight. At the end of the day, they end up on the negotiation table. How do we dialogue? So this is why I earlier on said, the problem is not Mr. Biya. It is like I laid down agenda that was there. Every person who comes will execute it. You can chase Mr. Biya, it doesn't really concern us. From the Anglophone perspective, we don't care about Biya. He can continue. I even wish him to stay there as long as possible. But that will not change our mind.
Why can't you dialogue with people? If your intentions are clear, why? So this whole of dialogue, you've asked for one thing for 34 years. If we are truly Cameroonians, why is it that in the house it is not moving well? Why can't we sit and talk? Why can't we sit and talk? It is not moving well in the house. Does the solution lies in fighting? Fighting has never, ever solved any problem. Whether you kill all Amazonians or you kill all militaries, it will not end until we sit and have an all true and inclusive dialogue. Not a dialogue you will go and talk with your friends, or the dialogue you will pay people to come and talk with you. That is not the dialogue we want. We want a true and inclusive dialogue. So I want to thank you, Mr. Organizer. I thank the members of the panel here present, and I hope we shall bring some ideas, at least to look for an everlasting solution. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your intervention. And now we are going to continue by Mr. Jackie. Mr. Jackie Moifre is a journalist in Paris. They are making many interventions or different interviews of different people who are concerned about the crisis. We are all concerned about crisis, but the people who can give us the correct information about this crisis. Mr. Jackie.
Hi everyone, thank you François-Xavier, thank you Joël, Didier, Engo, and David, thank you for your explanation, because I understand more what exactly happened to this part of Cameroon. Even though my English is not very nice, I want to tell you that in Cameroon nowadays, I just know Cameroonians.
Okay.
You are my brother. I'm your brother.
That is true.
Francophone or Anglophone, I don't know, because it's foreign language, foreign style, something like that.